What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So today we're going to be talking about some pretty serious stuff because we actually had some information come over from the Korean version of the game, and since this information has come out, like, the whole community has gone ballistic, and it's not for a positive reason either. We all know that the merger between Global and Korea is going to be happening very, very soon. I don't believe there's a confirmed date. I mean, well, actually, there is a confirmed date right now. There you go. The 21st of April does seem to be the confirmed date of the merger between Global or English and French version and the Korean version. So the Korean players are now joining our version of the APK or the app, and the Korean servers are basically shutting down, but obviously they're converting everyone over so that they can play on our version of the game. Both versions, both Korea and English and French versions, are essentially the same. I believe they're completely caught up. They've got the same release schedule going on right now, so it makes sense for them to do this. So it means that all the resources that they're using dedicated to the Korean servers, they can now expunge and use elsewhere, which is interesting. So, I mean, I think it's a good thing. I think overall, I think the merger is a good thing for the player base because it means that Bandai can, spend resources elsewhere. And I think that for the Korean players, it's going to be nice because they'll be joining Global. So we've got more players to hang out with. We've got more players to compete against, which I know is both a good and a bad thing. But with this merger, there has been a lot of big issues that have arisen. Now, I want to just say this preemptively before we get into the discussion. Do not, please, for the love of God, please do not attack Korean One Piece Treasure Cruise players. It is not the Korean players' fault that these problems have arisen, so please do not attack Korean One Piece Treasure Cruise players. And this also is not at the fault of Nick, our community manager, so I would highly advise not to personally attack him or his Twitter account. It is not his fault, and I know a lot of people are going to have opinions and thoughts about that, but it's literally not his fault that these issues have arisen either, so I wouldn't suggest attacking him personally either. So let's get into the discussion. So Korean recently have announced a bunch of details about the merger. Here are some of the important bullet points from what is probably a 2 to 3 page notice. So the merger is going to be happening on the 21st of April. Korean accounts that are left untransferred before the 21st of April next year, 2022, will be completely nuked, so they're going to be deleted if you don't transfer within 1 year. Everyone is getting 50 gems. Now, they have already announced this on the Global Twitter page. Because of the merger, all players are getting 50 rainbow gems. And it says accounts transferred from Korea are getting an additional 50 gems. Now, I don't really think that the fact that Korea gets an additional 50 gems is a bad thing. I think that's completely fair because remember, when they do transfer, they have to re-favorite all their units, and we all know how much of an inconvenience that is. They also lose all their friends on their friends list. They have to add new people up. That all of their crews that they've saved on their previous account are now reset. I think there's a lot of reasons as to why the additional 50 gems for them is fine, and I'm honestly okay with that. However, there are additional things that these Korean players will have access to that the other concurrent players of the English and French version do not get access to. So continuing on, most things will be kept. Pirate level, gems, friend points, raid points, Pirate Festival, island upgrades, so talking about the resource island, berries, your treasure map league, which is interesting as well because it means that, if they're in East Blue, they stay East Blue. If they're in New World, the next treasure map that Korea has merged in, they're going to be in New World, right? That's massive to know. And their Pirate Festival rank is also saved as well. However, this is the biggest thing right here, and this is the reason why everyone is upset. The important things that are going to be reset include story mode island clears, extra island clears, all Chopperman missions, the friends list as we already talked about, the mail's going to be reset, and your linked SNS, right? So that stuff doesn't matter as much, but these 3 things are massive. So all the story modes, all the island clears, everything is considered as non-played, everything is new, right? That's huge. And also all Chopperman missions. This confirms that Korean accounts will be slotted into whatever treasure map league they were before the merger, and I believe this will start whatever Pirate Festival season is on Global. Okay, that's pretty much all the stuff that we know of. So, just to talk about this and how crazy this is, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my account real quick just so I can show you guys how crazy this actually is, okay? So additionally, they're getting that 50 gems, okay? Global's getting 50 gems, the Korean players are getting 50 gems plus an additional 50. And then if I go over to here, so this is the account right now. All the story mode missions are going to be reset, right? Now, as we know, like when you clear all these missions, you get a pretty decent amount of gems, like 10 gems there, 5 gems there, 5 gems there, and all of these missions are going to be reset. 10 gems there, 5 gems there, 5 gems there, and that's just for clearing it. And remember, they get like, what, 2 to 3 to 4 gems just by playing the mission inside the story mode as well. That's hundreds of gems that they get access to. Now, if we go over to the event island, just to talk about that as well, at the event island, there is also a bunch of gems that they can get access to. The Sugo Fest missions they can do again. All of these missions, you know, you clear all difficulties, you get a gem there. You clear all difficulties of these, you get gems there. But the big thing here is the Recollection Archive that is now available here on Global, or now also going to be on Korea as well, is the fact that they can just unlock everything and get rainbow gems every single day by playing these events. And the big thing out of this really is the Chaos Difficulty Colosseums, because a lot of these older Chaos Difficulty Colosseums, when you clear the final difficulty, you get 5 gems. And all of these are now ready to be cleared once again. So there is so many free gems given out just by them playing the game. And of course, the Chopperman missions are going to be reset. And the big thing here are these missions, right? Because Korea have 10.2 update. They can go ahead and clear all these missions, get their 200 gems, and then join Global, and they're reset again. So they get an additional 200 gems. They also have all the special missions. So all their GARP challenges, if they complete all their GARP missions before they join, and then when they join, they can go ahead and get an additional set of GARP missions, which I think is probably going to be another, 80, 90 gems or something like that. Oh, and the thing is, the English and French version players that are currently playing the game do not get access to this at all. You can understand why there are a lot of people that are going to be upset about this. And honestly, this is just bullshit. This should not be happening. Now, in my opinion, this is the way that I think the reason why this is happening in the first place, because it's just the way of transferring a new account to the game. And because it is technically going to be like a new account joining this version of the game, everything is considered new. So I understand why it's happening, but the fact that it is happening is just not fair, and honestly should be compensated to the rest of the other players in some fashion, right? So either additional gems or just reset everything for all the other players as well, I think is also kind of fair, because the fact that you have all these players that are going to be injected into this version of the game, all these people that are going to be ranking in these events, they're going to have up to 1,000 gems probably. So here it says somebody would have to do all the math to get an accurate number, of course, but I believe Korean players that did up to the Master Chopperman missions are getting 1,000 extra gems this month alone. So 200 gems from the Chopperman missions, the new ones that just came out, and they get that twice. They get plus 100 for, obviously the merger, and also because of the Korean version shutting down. All the story mode as well, all old raids, Colosseums, and events. I mean, specifically Colosseums, the ones that after you cleared it, you get 5 gems for clearing it, and there's quite a few of them. So, that's 400 gems, 500 gems just because of that. And then all the story mode, which is probably another 2, 3, 400 gems. And then clearing all the old events is probably an additional 2, 3, 400 gems. So they get access to all of these gems, whereas Global only gets 50 gems. So when I say Global, I mean English and French version. So that's the big discrepancy between the player bases, and as I said, this is not the fault of the Korean players, so please do not be upset at them. And this is not the fault of Nick, the community manager. It is not his fault that this is happening in the first place. But something does need to happen. This is just not fair for the current players that are going to be missing out on a lot of gems, and Korean players that join the game are just going to get a bunch of gems for free. And I don't think it's completely fair at all. So I don't really know. That's all I really wanted to say. I wanted to give you guys the rundown of everything what's happening, because this is quite a big discussion point that's in the community right now. And since this information dropped, it's all over the Reddit, it's all over Twitter, Discord servers, everyone is talking about it. So I know I was probably going to get a bunch of messages about it. So I wanted to make this video to kind of break it down for you guys to understand what is actually going on here. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one, and hopefully we can get some sort of statement or information about what's going on, because this is just not fair, man. They're just getting so much free stuff for no reason. Well, I mean, there is a reason for it happening, but I feel like the other players should be getting something, right? This is just not fair at all. But of course, this is nothing confirmed at all. This is just on the Korean version of the game. Potentially when the merger actually happens, maybe there will be some stuff for the other players as well. Again, we don't have fully confirmed information on the English and French version yet. This is only coming from the Korean version. But as we know, when they join us, they're going to get access to a lot of gems that a lot of the other English and French version players won't have, right? And that's going to be quite significant for ranking events and for upcoming Sugo Fest, that is for damn sure. But that is going to wrap up this video today. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about all this down below in the comment section. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and if you guys did, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.